It was a cold winter night. The sky was dark and the wind was sharp. The streets were quiet except for the sound of Sarah's small footsteps. Sarah was a single mother. She held tightly to her son's small hand. His name was Ayan. He was only 7 years old. Sarah and Ayan had nowhere to go. Earlier that evening, they had been forced out of their home. Sarah's in-laws had sent them away without any warning. They did not want Sarah or her son to stay. The reason was small, but their anger was big. Sarah's heart was heavy. She felt sad and scared. The cold night air bit through her thin coat. Ayan was shivering next to her. His small body shook with cold and fear. Sarah tried to keep him warm with her own body. They walked slowly down the empty street. Their shoes made soft sounds on the pavement. Sarah looked around, hoping to see a kind face, a warm light, or a place where they could rest. But there was nothing. Only silence and cold. People passed by, but no one stopped. Some looked away quickly. Others crossed the street to avoid them. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but she tried not to cry in front of Ayan. She wanted to be strong for him. Ayan looked up at his mother with big, worried eyes. "Mama, where will we sleep tonight?" he asked softly. Sarah did not answer. She did not know. She held his hand tighter and kept walking. The city was busy during the day, but at night it could be very lonely. The street lamps gave weak yellow light. Shadows moved in the corners. Sarah and Ayan felt invisible, like they did not belong anywhere. Sarah's mind was full of pain. She thought about the fight she had with her in-laws. They had said terrible things. They blamed Sarah for everything. They said she was not good enough to be part of their family. She was a single mother, and that was enough for them to hate. Her Sarah felt lost. She did not have any money, and she did not have any family to help her. The world seemed cold and unfair. As Sarah and Ayan reached a small park, Sarah looked around for a safe place to sit. She saw an empty bench near the swings. She sat down, pulling Ayan close to her chest. She tried to warm him as best she could. Ayan's small hands were cold and trembling. Sarah whispered, "It will be okay, Beta. I promise, we will be safe soon." But even she did not believe her words. Sarah looked at the boy next to her. He was tired, hungry, and scared. Tears ran down his cheeks silently. No one else was around. No other children, no parents, no friends. The city felt empty and heartless. Suddenly, the sound of a car engine broke the silence. Sarah looked up and saw a black car slowly driving down the street. The headlights were bright, shining on the cold pavement. The car stopped near the park bench. Sarah's heart jumped. The window rolled down. A man in a clean, expensive suit looked at them. He was tall and calm. His eyes were kind but serious. He said, "Are you okay? Why are you out here in the cold?" Sarah did not know what to say. She looked at the man and then at her son. The man's voice was soft, and for the first time that night, Sarah felt a small hope. The man stepped out of the car. He walked slowly toward them. Sarah held Ayan tightly and looked at the stranger. Was he really going to help them? Or was this just a moment of kindness that would end quickly? The man introduced himself. "Is Mr. Khan?" He asked Sarah gently. "What happened? Why are you here alone with your son?" Sarah took a deep breath and began to tell her story. She told Mr. Khan about the fight with her in-laws, how they had thrown her and Ayan out of the house, how she had no place to go. Mr. Khan listened carefully. He did not interrupt. His face showed concern. Sarah looked at Ayan, who was now quietly watching Mr. Khan. Ayan's eyes were full of trust. Maybe, just maybe, this man could help. Mr. Khan looked around at the cold night and then back at Sarah and Ayan. He reached into his pocket and gave Sarah some money for food and blankets. Sarah was surprised. She tried to refuse, but Mr. Khan smiled and said, "Please take it, you need it more than I do." Sarah took the money, tears filling her eyes. For the first time that night, she felt a little safe. Mr. Khan then said, "Come with me. I have a warm place where you can stay for a while." Sarah looked at Ayan. He nodded slowly. They both stood up, feeling hope for the first time in a long time. They got into Mr. Khan's car, leaving the cold street behind. As they drove away, Sarah looked back once. The empty park bench, the cold street lamps, and the lonely night stayed behind them. But in her heart, she knew their journey was only beginning. Sarah sat quietly in the back seat of Mr. Khan's car. Her hands held Ayan's small hand tightly. The boy looked tired but calm now. The warm air inside the car was a big change from the cold night outside. Mr. Khan drove slowly through the city streets. Sarah did not know where they were going. She only hoped it was somewhere safe. Her heart still felt heavy, but she was thankful for this moment of kindness. After a few minutes, the car stopped in front of a big house. It was clean and bright, with lights glowing in every window. The house looked warm and welcoming. "Welcome," Mr. Khan said gently. "This is my home. You can stay here for as long as you need." Sarah looked at the house and then back at Mr. Khan. She wanted to ask many questions, but the words did not come out. Instead, she smiled softly and nodded. Inside, the house was quiet but cozy. There was a fire burning in the living room. Khan took a blanket from a shelf and gave it to Ayan. "Here, this will keep you warm," he said kindly. Ayan wrapped the blanket around himself and smiled for the first time that night. Sarah felt a small hope grow inside her heart. Mr. Khan went to the kitchen and brought some warm food and milk for Ayan. The boy ate slowly, still quiet but clearly hungry. Sarah sat next to him and watched, feeling grateful. After the meal, Mr. Khan sat down with Sarah in the living room. He looked at her with a serious face. "I want to help you," he said softly. "But first, I need to understand what happened. Can you tell me your story?" Sarah took a deep breath and began to speak. She told Mr. Khan about her life before this night. How she had loved her husband, but he had died in an accident. How she had moved in with her in-laws to care for them and raise her son. But they never accepted her. They treated her badly and made her life miserable. She told him about the fight that night, how they had shouted at her, blamed her for everything, and finally told her to leave. She had no place to go. No family, no friends. Mr. Khan listened quietly. His eyes showed sympathy and pain. When Sarah finished, he said, "You are very strong to face all this alone." Sarah looked down. "Sometimes I don't feel strong. I feel like giving up." Mr. Khan nodded slowly. "I understand, but you don't have to be alone anymore. I will help you and your son." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She felt a deep gratitude, but also a little fear. Was this too good to be true? What did Mr. Khan want in return? Mr. Khan seemed to read her mind. "I only want to help," he said firmly. "No strings attached." Sarah wanted to believe him. The next morning, Sarah woke up feeling a little better. She looked at Ayan sleeping peacefully under the blanket. For the first time in days, she felt safe. Mr. Khan had already arranged for them to see a doctor and get a health checkup. He had also found a small school nearby for Ayan to attend. Sarah was nervous but hopeful. Later that day, Sarah went out to look for work. Mr. Khan gave her some money and promised to help her find a good job. She wanted to be independent and provide for her son. As Sarah walked through the busy streets, she felt different. People smiled at her. She saw shops and offices. She dreamed of a better future. But deep inside, Sarah still worried. Could this last? Would her in-laws come back to cause trouble? Was she ready to face the world again? At the school, Ayan made a new friend. He laughed and played for the first time in weeks. Sarah's heart warmed seeing her son happy. That evening, back at the house, Mr. Khan and Sarah talked about the future. He asked her what she wanted most. Sarah said quietly, "I want a safe home for Ayan. I want to give him a better life." "Mr. Khan smiled. "We will work together to make that happen." But as the night grew darker, Sarah wondered what challenges lay ahead. Sometimes help came with unexpected costs. Would this stranger stay true? Or would Sarah and Ayan face new hardships? Only time would tell. The next morning, Sarah woke early. The sunlight filtered softly through the curtains of Mr. Khan's home. She looked at Ayan sleeping peacefully beside her and felt a rush of protectiveness. She had promised herself she would never let anything hurt her son again. After breakfast, Mr. Khan drove Sarah to a small office in the city. "I have arranged a meeting for you," he said. "A friend of mine runs a small shop. She is looking for someone honest and hard-working. I think it will be good for you." Sarah felt nervous. It had been a long time since she had worked. What if she failed? What if people did not accept her? But she swallowed her fear and stepped into the office with Mr. Khan. The woman behind the desk smiled kindly. "You must be Sarah," she said. "I heard about your situation. Don't worry, we will help you here." Sarah smiled shyly. "Thank you," she whispered. Days passed and Sarah started working at the shop. The work was hard, but she was determined. She wanted to prove she could stand on her own feet. Ayan went to school nearby and began to make friends. For a while, life seemed to move forward. Sarah felt a little hope growing inside her. She was no longer alone, but shadows from her past did not disappear so easily. One afternoon, while Sarah was at the shop, a man walked in. Brother-in-law, Imran. Sarah's heart stopped. Imran had been one of the worst people in her life. He was cruel and angry, and he had never accepted Sarah or Ayan. "Look at you," Imran said, his voice sharp. "Running away from your problems?" Sarah stayed calm but felt fear behind her eyes. "I am not running away, I am living my life." Imran laughed bitterly. "You think you can forget us? You think Mr. Khan's money will save you? You have no idea what is coming." Sarah's hands shook, but she did not answer. She was not afraid of Imran's threats. Not anymore. After he left, Sarah closed the shop early. She felt the weight of his words, but also a new strength inside her. When she told Mr. Khan about Imran, his face darkened. "We must be careful," he said. "Your past will not leave you alone, but I promise I will protect you." That night, Sarah sat by the window watching the city lights. She thought about her son, her future, and the dangers still waiting. She knew she had to fight, not just for herself, but for Ayan. The road ahead was not easy. But Sarah was ready. The days passed quietly at first. Sarah worked hard at the shop. Ayan enjoyed his school, making friends and learning new things. Mr. Khan visited often, bringing supplies and checking on them. But Sarah never forgot Imran's words. She felt the shadow of danger creeping closer. One evening, as Sarah closed the shop, she noticed a dark car parked across the street. Two men sat inside, watching the building carefully. Sarah's heart pounded. She hurried home with Ayan, locking the doors behind her. Mr. Khan was already waiting when she arrived. His face was serious. "I think someone is following you," he said quietly. "Imran is not alone." Sarah nodded, fear and anger mixing inside her. "Why won't they leave us alone? What do they want?" Mr. Khan looked deep into her eyes. "They want control. They don't want you to have a life without them." Sarah's hands clenched into fists. "They will not win. I will protect my son." That night, Mr. Khan arranged for extra security around the house. Guards walked the property, and cameras were placed at every entrance. Sarah still felt nervous. Every sound made her jump, but she also felt hope. She was not alone. A few days later, Ayan came home from school with a worried look. "Mom, some boys at school said bad things about us," he said quietly. Sarah knelt down and looked into his eyes. "I'm sorry, Ayan. People can be cruel, but remember, you are strong. You have a new family now." She hugged him tightly. The next morning, Sarah received a strange letter. It said only one sentence: "Leave now or face the consequences." Sarah showed it to Mr. Khan. He frowned deeply. "This is serious. We must act fast." They decided to go to the police, but Sarah feared the police might be connected to her in-laws. So Mr. Khan used his contacts to find honest officers who could help. Together, they planned how to keep Sarah and Ayan safe. That night, Sarah lay awake, thinking of the past and the future. She knew danger was near, but she was ready to fight. The next day, she returned to work, determined to live her life on her own terms. But as she walked through the city streets, She saw Imran again, this time with a group of men. They stared at her coldly. Sarah did not run. She stood tall. "This ends now," she whispered. Sarah felt the cold stare of Imran and his men burning into her back as she walked down the street. Her heart raced, but she kept her head high. She would not let fear control her. Mr. Khan met her at the shop later that day. "They are watching closely," he said quietly. "We must act carefully." Sarah nodded. "I am not afraid anymore. I want to protect Ayan, no matter what." That night, Sarah and Mr. Khan made a plan. They would gather proof of Imran's threats and take it to the authorities. But more than that, they would find a way to stop him for good. The next morning, Sarah met with the honest police officers Mr. Khan had found. She told them everything: the beatings, the threats, the letter, and Imran's visits. The officers listened carefully. "We will protect you," one said, "but you must be careful, they are dangerous." Sarah agreed. She knew the road ahead would not be easy. Meanwhile, Imran's men became bolder. One night they tried to break into Sarah's home, but Mr. Khan's security team was ready. They called the police and the men fled. Sarah hugged Ayan tightly. "It's okay," she whispered. "We're safe." The police arrested 2 of Imran's men. The message was clear. Sarah would not be easy to scare. Imran grew angry. He visited Sarah one last time, his face twisted with rage. "You think you can take everything from me?" he shouted. Sarah looked him in the eye. "I'm not taking anything, I'm building a life. A better life for my son and me." Imran stormed away, defeated. Days later, the police arrested Imran too. His threats were over. Sarah felt relief wash over her like a warm wave. She had fought for her son and they were safe. Mr. Khan smiled proudly. "You are brave, Sarah. You did not give up." Sarah smiled back, tears in her eyes. "I had to, for Ayan." Their new life was just beginning. After Imran's arrest, life began to change for Sarah and Ayan. The heavy cloud of fear slowly lifted, and hope started to shine through. Sarah found more confidence each day. She worked harder at the shop and even started dreaming about opening her own small business one day. Ayan smiled more, laughing with his new friends at school. The neighborhood felt safer. Mr. Khan stayed close, helping Sarah with advice and support. "You have come a long way," he said one afternoon, "but this is just the beginning." Sarah nodded. "I want to give Ayan a good life, a life free from pain." One sunny morning, Sarah walked through the park where she once felt so lost. She watched children playing, their laughter ringing through the air. Ayan ran ahead, chasing a butterfly. Sarah's heart swelled with joy. She knew she had fought hard to protect this moment, but life was not only about safety. Sarah wanted to build a future. With Mr. Khan's help, she applied for a small loan to start her own little bakery. She had always loved baking, and now she had a chance to turn her passion into a career. The bakery opened after a few months. It was small, but warm and inviting. People from the neighborhood came to taste her fresh bread and sweets. Sarah worked long hours, but the smiles she received made it all worthwhile. Ayan helped too. He liked to hand out cookies and greet the customers. His laughter filled the bakery like sunshine. One day, a woman came into the bakery. She looked familiar to Sarah, but kind and gentle. "I heard about your story," the woman said softly. "I'm from a charity that helps single mothers. We want to support you and Ayan." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. I never imagined so much kindness." Life was changing in ways she had never dreamed. Still, Sarah never forgot the hard journey that brought her here. At night, when Ayan slept peacefully, Sarah would sit quietly, thinking about the past and the future. She knew there would be challenges ahead, but now she had hope and strength. She was ready for anything. Months passed, and Sarah's bakery became a beloved part of the neighborhood. People came not only for the fresh bread and sweet treats, but also for the warmth and kindness Sarah shared with everyone. Ayan smiled more each day. He loved going to school and playing with his friends. He no longer felt afraid or lonely. His mother's courage had given him a new life. One afternoon, Mr. Khan visited the bakery. He looked proud. "Sarah, you have done something wonderful. You took control of your life and built something beautiful." Sarah smiled, her eyes shining. "I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for believing in me." Mr. Khan shook his head gently. "No, Sarah, you believed in yourself when it mattered most. Life was not perfect, but it was full of promise. Sarah and Ayan were safe, happy, and hopeful." One day, as Sarah closed the bakery, she saw a familiar face waiting outside. It was Imran's sister. She looked nervous but spoke kindly. "Sarah, I want to say sorry for everything my family did to you. I see now how strong you are." Sarah felt a wave of emotion but nodded. "Thank you. It means a lot." Forgiveness was not easy, but Sarah knew it was part of her healing. That evening, Sarah and Ayan sat on their small porch, watching the sun set behind the city. Sarah held her son close. "We made it, Ayan. We are free." Ayan smiled, his eyes bright. "I love you, Mom." Sarah kissed his forehead. "I love you too." Their journey had been long and hard, but it had led them here, to peace, love, and a new beginning. No matter what challenges might come, Sarah knew one thing for sure. She and Ayan would face them together, stronger than ever.